Hello everyone, let's continue to assemble our 3D printer. Right now we are going to assemble the mainframe. To attach the mainframe, take one of these pillars and connect it with this main body, just like that. And you can see there are nut holes in here and other holes in here. Right now we will connect those ones. Take the nuts and put them inside these empty places. You need to hold the nuts to make them not go away. So let's connect the other pillar with the same method. Just insert it in here like this. Right now we are going to assemble this control panel into those two pillars, like a puzzle, making a puzzle. Don't forget, these buttons has to look to the right hand side. Now I'm going to assemble these shoulders on top of our main frame. Take this one like that and put it in here like this. Right now it is again time to put the nuts in. Now I'm going to repeat these steps for the other shoulder. Okay, right now we are going to assemble some more parts before we attach them into the mainframe. Let us take this piece and connect this inside here, like this. Right now we will have this one and attach it to here. When you look, there's a hole in here on the right. There's no hole in here. We will attach it like this. The hole is in the right. On the left side there's no hole. Like this. Before I fasten them, I'm going to attach this part right in here like this. And put the screw. Right now we are going to take this part and attach this into these two places right here. Right now we are going to put 4 nuts into this one, and there's one washer after that nut coming in, another washer here, 2 washers, and one more nut in here. Then we will put this one here like this, and one more washer. Additionally, we will do one more to the here and one more last washer for this piece in here. Let's put this one in, take this one and do the same thing. Okay, our 2 rails are ready. Let's connect them into the mainframe. What we are going to do is right now just take these ones and plug them in to these rail holders right here. But these 2 nuts has to sandwich this plexiglass in here. That's why we need to right now come back and take it a little bit back and then squeeze it by using the other nut and washer. And then we will do the same thing for this side. When we look at the back hand side of the printer, these lead screw extensions has to be as much as to hold 1 washer and 1 additional metric 8 nut. No more than that. For this end we will use this part and attach it in here like this. Again, the lead screw extensions in here has to be as much as to hold these 2 washers and the nuts. So we will arrange it as well. Right now we are going to assemble our first motor, which is Y-axis motor. We will take it and assemble it right in here. The direction of this cable socket coming from the motor has to be looking the front part of the printer. We will put it like this and start to insert the screws. Right now we are going to assemble this limit switch. Just to be careful with the direction, so they must be aligned like this. Take the limit switch, which is labeled with S_Y, and connect it into this acrylic piece by using these small screws. And be sure that this clicking sound is coming from your limit switch. It's kind of double check that it is working mechanically. Right now we are going to attach our limit switch into the mainframe. What we are going to do is take it in this direction. Take this cable and move it under the hole of the motor and hold it from the other side and take it out from here. It will help us to connect it later. Right now we are going to connect these little covers in here. So let us put these ones together and use this small hole in here and fasten it from behind. We will do the same thing for the back side of the printer as well. Now we finished the covers for the rods. Right now we are going to assemble the rails and the cars on the rails to hold the heat bed. So we have 2 per rod. We will put them like this, and then for the holes that we have in here, we will just attach it, and we will again take these 2 cars and attach them into the rail, the rod in here. By the way, these rods are the small rods, not the lead screws, small rods that we have. 4 of them available inside. We are using the 2 of them, and we attach these cars in here. Again, we are going to connect it to the hole right in here and to the same hole right in here. Right now we are going to make this one turn like this and close it, and we will do the same thing for this side. We will push these rods towards back, and we will make sure that these rods are touching to the back cover that we just closed, and we need to make sure that this part is flat so that we will push this acrylic back until the surface is flat. So right now we are going to assemble the heat bed on top of these. We are going to assemble the heat bed holder, but before that we need to attach these 2 acrylic parts in this metal sheet so that we can drive this back and forth. But be careful that we need to assemble these ones to this side of the bed. Let's assemble them, but be careful, do not tighten them too much because we will fasten these screws later on while we are assembling the belt. Okay, right now we are going to assemble our heat bed holder metal sheet to these 4 carriers. So let's take this one like this and attach it. So first thing first, assemble them diagonally to see everything is okay, and then you can fasten them and assemble the rest of the screws. So let's check. It seems like okay. So what we are going to do is to put the rest of the screws. Now it is ready to move. We have the belt. So what we need to do is take it and put it in here like this. Be careful with the attachment, you need to squeeze it good, and then we will have this one going from here, this, and then make this belt come up here. After you arrange the position, cut the belt. Be careful to not the cut belt too short, then you will regret it. And then we will just move this one behind under the other acrylic and pull it. And then tighten the belt and fasten the screws. Just be sure that you did not make the belt too tight or too loose. You need to find a tension in between, neither too loose nor too tight. Good. And when you do this, you must feel a little bit tension here. You should just feel the smoothness. Right now it is time to put our heat bed on top of this metal heat bed holder. This is our heat bed and there are 4 holes on it. We will just connect those ones to the 4 holes right in here. And this side is where our heat bed connection is gonna be. So we will make this side look behind the printer. So we will connect it, and what we do is just take one of these and put it from here and then connect these springs underneath and then fasten it to the metal bed right like this. First thing we need to do is connect all of these for the 4 holes of the heat bed, and then we will make them tighten. Right now what we are going to do is to lower the heat bed as much as we can with the springs. We will attach the wing nuts for protection. Right now we are going to assemble the Z-axis motor covers and some holders. So these are the 2 pieces that we are going to assemble first. Right now just let us plug them together, and then we will just use this nut in here and fasten it. Then we will get the same side, fasten it with nut and screw. So we will prepare the same thing again, just to make sure that this part here is going to be the bottom edge. These 2 Z-axis covers are ready. What is the difference between them is the hole directions. This is left and this is right. So let's attach them together into the printer. Okay, after we assemble these motor holders, right now we will plug them into the main frame and assemble them with the nuts and screws. After this one is ready, right now we are going to assemble the other one right over there. This one again like this. Right now it is time to assemble Z motors, but don't forget there are 2 types of cable lengths. The small one will go into the left side and the longer one will go into the right side. This is the longer cable that we have. There's a hole in here. We just insert this cable from that hole. Okay, right now we are going to assemble the control panel into its place. I hope you do not throw these white things away, because when I first see them, are they going to be the important parts or not? I didn't know about that. Let's start assemble it. We have these long screws here. We just plug them in, and then we took these white pieces and plug them in. Then we insert our control panel. Right now we use nuts to hold it stabilized. Right now I will connect the cable. I will just have this plexiglass acrylic sheet and take it out like this and connect it in here. Okay, great, we successfully installed the control panel, and I will take out this one. Right now we are going to attach this limit switch of Z-axis right over here. We have these two plexiglass things. Let's put them together and attach these longer screws to them, and then put it right over here and fasten the nuts from the behind. And then here there is only one Z limit switch with Z, which has very relatively small cable. We just plug these two little screws and fasten it into the plexiglass part that we just assembled into the main frame. Hold here and take this one, insert the cable from the wall to the back. As you will remember, there were these closing parts for the rods. Right now we will put this one here and then do the same thing as we did. We just connect these, put the screw in, use the nut. Ready. Right now we are going to install rods of our 3D printer. We will just insert it like this. While we are installing, we will use this white motor holder, and we will insert this rod from the bearings that we have right over here and put it like this. After we are sure that it's go down, we will just turn this cover above our rod and make it tight. We will do the same thing. We will just install our rod from the outer hole. While we are installing, we will just put this thing in, and then we will turn this cover, and then we will fasten the screw. Right now it is time to insert the lead screws like this. While we are inserting, we need to hold this lead screw head and turn our lead screw towards this yellow nut-like thing. After we insert it in there, there is this coupling piece here. We just put this one in and insert our lead screw into our coupling. In the beginning, we need to make sure that these set screws are loose so that we can insert our coupling system more like this in here, and then we will fasten these set screws back so that our coupling system will hold them. We will do the same thing for the left hand side. We will insert our lead screw and connect it like this, and take our coupling equipment right here, and then make sure that this lead screw get in, and then tighten the set screws. Okay, great. Before we connect these rods towards each other for these white ones, I'm going to put this ruler here and decrease the length of this white one's topper surface to the 20 centimeters here. I will do the same thing for the other edge as well, and bring this one to the 20 here. It's 20. They're kind of aligned. Right now I will insert this rod from here. I'm just pushing with my bare hands, not hammering it in. And then we will just put these two bearings same thing for the downside. It is easy if you make it twisted while you are inserting the rod from the 3D printed white part. Bingo, you got it. Right now I'm going to assemble this X motor right in here. This socket will look down, so we will assemble it like this. Put it in. Right now let's take our extruder and disassemble it. There's this screw right here. We just take it off and divide our extruder head into the two pieces. We just need this holder part, and don't forget these little screw and do not lose it because we will use it. Okay, let's take this one. Before we move on, we just take these two screws and put the nuts like this, and then we take our extruder head and turn it back and connect these ones right here. This one is ready. It's flat. Right now let us assemble this one into our system. Okay, here are our sliders. We will take this one and connect our sliders right over here like this. What we will do is first, as we did before, to prevent interlocking, we will just connect these nuts diagonally and then we will fasten all of them. There are two more down in here in this side. So I will just use my screwdriver to put them in like this. Fasten them. Okay, great. Okay, right now what we are going to do is to assemble the belt. And remember these two screws that we attached. Right now we will put our belt around them. So this is our belt. Don't forget that the teeth of our belt will look upside when we are assembling it. Just insert it from here. While we insert it, let us use our zip ties as well because we will need it. We just turn it like this and make this shape. After we make that shape, let us connect this one and squeeze them into each other like this. Bring this zip tie, make it very close to the screw, and then fasten the zip tie so that it will lock the belt into each other. And we will do the second zip tie to just ensure that it will not slide. After that, just cut the extensions. Then what we will do is very easy step. We will just take the belt and insert it from the back side of this. There's a roller in here that we will go over it. And then we will take the rest of the belt and plug that in towards the other white 3D printed part from the inside of it. Make it turn around the motor and put it in again from the same place and tighten it. Right now what I will do is to again turn this belt around the same screw that we used like this. Again I will use two zip ties to secure it. This is really important. Let us make it tight enough so that it will not slip. First zip tie, this is the second one. Let us cut the rest of the belt. Good. Okay, right now we are going to attach our first fan into our extruder to cool it down. So this is our fan and this is the fans of our fan. Before we attach them into each other, let's take these two longer screws and put two washers each of them. And then since this part is symmetric, it's not that much matters how you put these screws in. And then you will just take this fan and attach it like this. Be careful with the direction. This labeled side should not look towards the fan, so it will take the air from here and blow it from this side. So we will take this one, which is a cooler part aluminum. We will put it in like this. Everything looks good like this. And then we will take our nozzle and extruder system. These two screws right here, we will take them off. When we take them off, just don't forget, since there is a string in here, it is tend to come out. You just need to hold it tight. And then we will grab this one, this our fan part, insert it here towards the place where we take off the parts. And then we will just assemble it. Okay, this is good to go right now. So let's take the part that we prepare with the attached fan. We'll put it in like this. Don't forget the previous screw that we took off from the underneath, and right now we will assemble it back. So we will just insert this one right in there. The second step right now, what we are going to do is to fasten this block underneath. Okay, right now it is time for our second fan that we are going to attach like this. Then it is time to plug this blower. It's kind of hard to move it in. Okay, this was a little bit hard to put in and it caused a little bit crack in my fan as well. If you don't want to cause a crack in yours, do not push it too hard, but it is okay. You will definitely remember our power supply, how we attach them. If you don't remember, just look at our video right now by clicking the small screen that is just appeared, just to make sure that these cables are secure enough, and we will assemble this power supply right over here. So what you need is these 3 little screws, and then take our power supply and put it in. Our power supply actually has threaded holes in there, so you don't need to put any extra nuts inside of it. That's why you just screw them in. Great, we attach our power supply. Right now it is time to assemble our motherboard into the printer, but before that we just hook these longer screws and attach these white pillars into them, and then we will attach them into our printer. Use the nuts behind. Of course, we didn't forget it, but it becomes one of our last part to attach the limit switch for the X. We will take it like this, attach these 2 screws inside of it, and then put it in like this. And make sure that it is working as well mechanically. We will just take the cable of this X limit switch and put it in like this. Our extruder cable is labeled as E motor, and we will install this wider socket into the motor right over there. After we connect that, let us start to wrap our cables. So we have few cables coming out from different sides. So these 2 will come up together to the up, and this one is also with the same. Let me use our zip tie here. Then we will grab these cables, make them as well together. Do not make them too much tight because you might regret that afterwards. Lower it down until you hit the limit switch and take it to the very side, so that we will never have in terms of the length of those cables. So what we will do is just make some assumption in terms of cable wrapping. So let's cut this long cable wrapper, and then we will start to wrap it around. Okay, the first thing with the wrapping is ready. For the upper edge, we will just use this Lampard overall cables here. We can use another nut to hold them in. Our nozzle goes everywhere without any problem of cable. We will just insert our cables in. I would like to tie this cable together, the LCD screen cable and the cable that we wrap around. Okay, since we come up until here, I hope you remember which cables goes where, but I will show them to you as well. Let us start with this cable. This is the LCD cable. It will go into this port which is shown as LCD. This is the end connection, so this will go to the right here which says end. So we just connect it like this. This white cable is coming from the end, so this is going to be get connected right over here, which is E_T. So it will just connect it in here. This is extruder motor, so it will just go to E motor right over here. We will just connect it. Okay, it's great. And 2 more things left, which are the fan 1 and fan 2. You have the labels of the cables, so just connect this one into the fan 1, which is this one right over here, and then take this one, which is fan 2, and connect it here, right left to the fan 1. Motor X has relatively small cable than the others, so let's just directly connect this one underneath. And the motor X is the first one from the bottom right over here. So we just connect it. Motor X connection is done. Okay, there are 2 limit switch cables coming in from these holes right over here, and these ones have their labels. But this is the limit switch for X. Let us just connect it into here that says the very above, the X_S. We will just take it and connect it to the correct place. Limit switch of X is connected, and then the other one is the smallest limit switch cable that we have, which is belongs to Z axis. We will just take it and connect it right over here. Okay, we are coming close to the last steps. Our other step is to take the cable socket of heat bed and connect it into our bed. It's very easy, just connect it like this. The next step, just to connect the motor cable of the wider one will go to the motor right over here. Very easy to connect. Let us wrap the cables coming from the heat. Make an assumption. How much do we need? Let's cut it from here and let us start to wrap it around. To make sure that our cable is easily movable, I attach this one to the cables with the zip ties and just check the heat bed one more time. Is there any cables that is disturbing it to move or not? We have two sockets right here. One will directly go to the down here, which is socket named as bed. So we will just connect this one into the bed, and then the bed thermometer is BT labeled as in here, and we will just connect it in here. Right now we just turn our printer upside down. We will just wrap around these ones from here to up until there. Right now let me cut it, and it is time to wrap things again. Right now I will zip tie this one from here first, and then I will again tie it to here, and it will go above from here. Two more cables coming in from this side, and I will start there zip tying them from the beginning, wrap them around as well. Right now I will tie this one as well, but before that I will take these two cables and plug them in from this socket right over here and then tie them. The arrangement of the downside is okay. We have a couple more cables left in here. So we have the power cable here coming in. So we will connect it right over here. There is only one green socket left, and we will connect this power cable right inside here. Okay, we have motor cables right over here. Let's look at their labels. This is Y motor, so we will just connect it a second from the below. This motor is Z motor 1. Right now we will take it and connect it above Y, Z motor 1, and the other label cable is Z motor 2. We will take it and connect above Z motor 1. So we connect all the motors, and there is a switch cable in here which belongs to Y limit switch, and we will connect it right here, which is the only socket left unconnected here, and we have connected all the cables. Okay, before we start, there are a few things you need to know. Step 1 is to arrange this limit switch into the top position and fasten it, because we don't want to crash the nozzle to the bed. Before we open the 3D printer, as a step 2, take a ruler and measure the height of the both ends of the 3D printer, and make sure that both heights at each end of the Z axis are the same. Right now I'm measuring both of my axes as 20 centimeters. As a step 3, let us open our printer, and we see the welcome page, and it's saying the printer is ready. Right now click the home button and go to the quick settings and click enter. In here click home all and wait for printer to home itself. Okay, as a step 4, right now we are going to disable all the step motors from the quick settings. Come into the quick settings, go very down and disable stepper. Right now all the steppers are disabled, and we can move the head and other stuff as we desire. So what we are going to do right now is to measure the gap between the nozzle and the heat bed. We will put our ruler here, see how much of a gap that we have in here. 25mm gap in here. This gap could be different in yours. Right now we will lower this Z axis down up until that gap. So we will just lower it until we see the 25mm gap in here as well. Let us get our ruler here until we see 25. I see 25. Right now let me fasten mine. After we measure 25mm from here to here, we fasten it. Okay, right now at this step what we will do is to home all again. So let's go to the main menu, go to quick settings, enter and click home all, and let us see that how high is our gap. Right now we need to disable the steppers one more time. So again, come to the main menu, go to quick settings and go all the way down and disable stepper. Right now we will move our bed to the middle and move our extruder to the middle of our bed as well, and check the height in between them. What we will do right now is to get one A4 paper and make sure that the gap between nozzle and the bed is 0.2 millimeter, which is almost the thickness of this A4 paper. So right now we will check that are we able to feel the tension in each corners. We need to release it a little bit. Right now I feel the tension in here, so this corner is okay. A little bit unfastened. It is okay for this corner as well. Let's check this corner. We need to release this corner. A little bit faster. Okay, this corner is good. And now let's move on to the other corner. The last corner of us. Is this corner okay? Okay. So, is the middle okay? Middle is ready as well. I feel the tension. So let's start to make a test print. That's great. Blower is ready. Before we print, right now we will go back and home all again one more time. To start our first test print, click menu and then go to print file and click enter. In here, go to the test file G-code and click enter again. Inside this test file G-code, there are lots of G-codes that are coming with your printer. You can pick the G-codes that you want in here. They all have the explanations. I go to the bottom to print the pyramid one and I click enter. After you click enter, printer will direct you to the status page and you will see the printing in the very bottom line as 0%. Just wait in here for a couple minutes and then you will see that the print will start after it heats up. In the very top line you can see the heat of the extruder on the left hand side, and you can see the heat of the heat bed. Whenever these values reach to the top values, the print will start. Thank you for watching this video. I would like to thank the GearBest for making this happen. Please check out other videos that I prepared for A8 Desktop printer, how to assemble, electronics check, and how to improve the quality of prints by clicking the links on the screen. If you want to start 3D printing and want to purchase this printer, check out the links in the description below from the GearBest. They also provide cheap filament. Don't forget to apply the code provided. Please comment down below and let me know what you think. Don't forget to share this video and subscribe to my channel by clicking the link on the screen. If you are really planning to buy this cheapest 3D printer or already purchased it, you must check out my how to improve A8 desktop printer video for ultimate quality 3D prints. See you on the next 3D printing video. Happy printing!